Hey, in our project management training, people are training to do project management, communication, leadership, teamwork, and so on. So, and how is it done? Well, it's done that you have a project, and when you set up this project, that's really important. The setup phase on a project is like really crucial to the whole success of the project, because maybe only you're setting up maybe days or weeks, or it's like the setup what you actually define your project, and then you're doing it for a month or a quarter or a year, so you are actually performing on this project. So setting up a project is really very important, and what is the objective, what is the outcome, and so on. So that's most of the projects which fail are, the failure is already in the beginning, And one thing I want to talk about now is about it should be an achievable objective. If you set up a project which is everybody says it's not possible, you still might be able to achieve that. You can, of course, tell all people that it's wrong, and I have done projects in the past where everybody was saying, oh, that's not possible. And that you can make it work, if you really believe in it. But, if you're training yourself in project management, a very reasonable thing to do in the beginning is to do and define your objective and the outcome of the project, something really reasonable. Because let's face it, you first want to learn communication, leadership, teamwork, and so on as well, and perform something on your project. So you shouldn't be playing completely low, doing something which you have performed in a day. That's not really a project. But, don't do anything pie in the sky, saying, hey, I'm going to do climate change, and climate change is done, the whole problem solved in 3 months. No, So we are looking for reasonable. It can be a little bit of challenging, but the thing is, you can always, when you're seeing, hey, it works, you can always ramp up later. That's always a possibility. You can increase your target. If you say, oh, it's really going well, it's really like this, and you set a target for the whole project a quarter, and you achieve this after a month. Welcome. Just ramp it up, just increase your goals, because that's really fun, really learning how it's, It's if you say, hey, I have never driven a race car, and now you go to a racetrack, and then you say, I'm going to make the pole position, or, I beat the track record here. No, it's really you want to be, hey, I want to be drive safe first. I want to be driving here. Don't want to let everybody's passing me all the time. I really want to learn the skills, and then I'm going to increase later on, and say, oh yeah, okay, today I'm going to do this, But the real thing of really defining your objective is having a certain reasonable thing in the first place, and then when you really perform. Ramp it up, and the better you come, the more challenging your projects can be. But if you aren't really a professional in these kind of things and you haven't done a track record, start with something reasonable. It's really like this. So reasonable and then ramping up is better than overly challenging, and then you're starting and you have failures, and that's normal in a project. You have failures, something doesn't work, you have setbacks, people say no to you, you have something expected, it doesn't work. So there's you still want to go on, but if you face these kind of things, and then you see, oh, now after some weeks of doing the project, I'm not going to achieve my objective anymore. You lose faith. You just don't believe in your project anymore. You are not motivated anymore. You just give up. That's what a lot of people are doing. So it's good to have a reasonable thing in the first place with the options to ramp up the thing. Make it bigger, faster, whatever it is. Yeah. So that's one thing. And how do we do this? Well, you're going to have a project partner. So you are having somebody who's looking at your project as well. And then that person is asking you, for example, okay, that's your goal. How do you achieve this? You need a project plan, which is here's your goal. And you want to have a project plan, which is okay, I'm here. And there's where I want to go. And how do these things come together, And is this like feasible? Do you have the resources? Do you have the time? Do you have the team members? How do you acquire the team members and so on? That the whole thing becomes reasonable and you're not totally overworked, burned out or anything. No, you really want to learn project management and of course do something and you want to have fun and so on. And let's face it, if you do a project, and you could like, if you define, I want to be here and you are there, you're like really like this, yes! Imagine you do exactly the same thing, but you are arriving here, but your target was there. It's like, oh, it's so bad. Yeah? And of course, we want to leave you with the experience. Hey, I'm really doing something. I'm putting out something in the world. I'm learning project management, and you want to be like really, setting your goals always in relation to your performance. That's like a clever thing. And otherwise, if you are making it too challenging in the beginning, and then you're like, not believing in that thing anymore, and you're not believing in yourself anymore, that's bad, So this is like the thing to do. So do something which is like reasonable. You want to have the plan which is linking this, and then go for it. And if you really think, oh, that's going bad, that's going good, ramp it up. That's good, because then you are like on a streak of, great, That's really one thing. So that's why, maybe you have heard of this SMART goals. It should be specific, measurable, and so on, realistic. Yeah. So that's really like, can I achieve this? Yeah. And timed, like, let's say a quarter, a month, I want to have something done. And there might be some numbers also where you can really say and decide, yes, I have done this or not, So, for example, I have like created a channel and I have like so many followers or so many views, so many likes, or I have so many people working it, or I have produced a certain amount of things, That's like all you could say, hey, it's measurable, And then you could say, yes, I have done this together with hopefully a team where you get other people involved and say, we do this together. So, good thing, very important, really for any kind of where you learn project management or for any project, like make it reasonable. Don't do the other mistake as well that you're planning like too low, that it's like you just you just play that you're doing this without any effort. That's also not good, but really reasonable. What you really want to say, hey, I'm going to put this in, this is like my team, this is my project, and all these kind of things. So achievable. And then there's a possibility to ramp it up. You want to be like motivated and in there and say, yes, you always want to believe your project is going well and that you're going to achieve it. Thank you very much for watching. Of course, please follow the channel.